like, yeah, but, right, you know, because I wanted to put him down here better. Basically, right. And we put ourselves with that example, yeah, are you
Hello. Hi. I'm about to play the greatest game of all time. And apologies if you can hear my roommates. They are a little bit noisy.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And
So
although
boring.
others might have considered it soul-rending,
It is soul-rending.
Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Oh my gosh.
And
My
Stanley
roommates are so loud.
was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
You're peculiar.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
You're wrong.
Shocked, frozen solid,
I don't know.
Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
What if I just don't get out of my office? What you gonna do about it? Okay, fine.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley
This is a
simply
pretty cool
stood
room.
here, drinking it all in.
What if I just stay here?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yep. Oh, wow. This is actually a really nice painting.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and
You're
reflected
creepy.
poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
I like this leaf painting. This is a
Stanley
nice
sat around
painting.
waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Guess what? I don't get the message. I'm gonna wait here until you just keep talking. Because I don't remember seeing this in the last time I watched this game. I watched Ranboo play it and Slime actually. But they're very funny. This is trippy. The lighting in this game is actually really nice. I wonder how long I'll have to stay here before he says something again. Okay. I don't have the attention span for this.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I wonder what this means.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good
Lol.
job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yes, I'm so powerful.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
swore there
simply
was a
missed a
way
memo.
to,
No
like,
matter how
get-
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I swore there was a way to get onto the desk and out the window. No, serious. You can't jump. Oh my gosh! I just got called out. They... there was an achievement that said, no, seriously, we disabled it. You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. That's amazing. Okay, wait a minute. Actually, y'all aren't able to see my achievements. I want to fix that. Here. So, ignore. Oh, here's the achievement. Oh no, we're gonna ignore that. But that's amazing. That's hilarious. I want to go into that room. This is like an interesting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Nope.
doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I'll do it.
Perhaps he
I'll do
wanted
it
to
right
stop
the
by the
next
employee
round.
lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've got... But in his
I
eagerness
forgot that
to
you can't
prove
jump.
that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt
I
from
wanted
the
to parkour,
platform
but I forgot
and
you can't
plunged to
jump.
his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
My bad.
All of his
Alright,
co-workers
let's
were
go.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The leaf. It's back.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Get Chris out of the broom closet. Ongoing. I don't know what that says. Hire someone to papers are to fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper guy. Or the signerist. What does that say? Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on topic of... Okay. The future was The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Wow. Employee. What employee am I? Jim. Anyway. Meeting scheduled. Weekly targets. Admin. Marketing Mondays. Something. Group. This box is too small. Smiley face. Group. Floor. Meeting room. Pranking floor. This meeting. Yeah. IT department. We're broke. We are broke Wednesday. Alright. Financial panic meeting. Boss's inspection. 8-bird. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. R.I.P. Franz. Who's Franz and who killed him? By quarterly post review. Post review. We need less reviews for want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary. Okay, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Wait, what? Why do you need to heat your water cooler? Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net. Some sort of what? Teenagers, size of demographic, space between the teenagers. Throw something in the idea bin. No more bins / trash cans. Renaming of the idea bin. Firing of me. Wow. Riveting. I'm gonna stop reading these now.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
If anybody can zoom in and read that, that would be awesome. I see a cactus. Hi, someone. I can't read it. Alright, hold up. Great idea. Alright, give me a moment. OBS is gonna be helpful for once. Okay. Can you read it? Alright. Well, I'm gonna look on my phone. Once my stream delay catches up. We'll get there eventually. Oh, my phone quality died. Alright, let's see. A name starting with L, maybe? I write this. Oh, okay. This first something. Yeah, I can't read this. There's... Oops, I unshifted here. But it looks like there's some type of owl or cat or some type of animal person on a bike with a sun and some... Is that a UFO? I don't know. And some cactuses. Very interesting. It says something. Oh, and there's a road at the bottom too. Anyway, I spent way too much time on this. I'll fix my screen now. There you go. Anyway, we're gonna go this way.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Wow.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
How long
believing
is this
that
gonna
if
go?
he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
I've made a terrible mistake.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job.
Whoa, Stanley has
All
a
I want is
wife?
my life exactly
Crazy.
the way it's always been. My life is normal.
I
I
hope you
am
know
normal.
I'm still holding down
Everything
W
will
and
be
moving my
fine.
mouse around.
I am okay.
I can hear.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Whoa. That was a little bit loud.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Pardon?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew.
Wow.
Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Lovely.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I have autonomy.
Look,
That's the
Stanley,
right
I
word,
think
right?
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
La la
Look,
la.
let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see?
Wow.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yeah.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did.
No, you
And in the end, it was all for
Or, well, I
nothing.
mean,
because
the
this
actual
is
dev
what you
did,
wanted to
but-
see. Help me
Yeah, I
here,
guess you-
Stanley.
I guess
Help
you had to read the
elucidate
voice
these
lines.
strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me
me a cat.
absolutely nothing so far. Tell
Give
you
me a
what.
cat.
Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
I want a cat.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Wow. Worldwide leaderboard? Good old Neil. Skip the intro sequence. Only the worst 30% of players chose the blue door.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Give me the ability to jump.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I was gonna play it, but then you said 4 hours.
You heartless bastard.
Wow.
Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
To spite you.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm
improve
done.
My experience.
It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Minecraft?
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Give me Minecraft. That'd be really funny. Oh, right.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it.
I don't think you
What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
That was the Minecraft door opening sound. Don't tread on me. Guess what? I'm walking on you. Oh yeah, this is gonna be the bit where he realizes it's an open... That's absurd. Leave the door. Many a staircase.
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh. Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call.
Close.
You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley.
I like open
I'm going to
world
get us
games.
out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
You're an insurmountable pain.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
I want to go into the whatever. Oh, oh my God! It's Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game,
This
I will
is
be
so funny.
phenomenally impressed.
This is so funny.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball.
sports
Oh, what
ball.
fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I
Oh,
think
it is-
surely we
let me get-
must.
let me get to-
Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh. Yo. I'm allowed to sprint? I still can't jump though. I want to get into the blue. Yes! Yes! Fudge you.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is
Yes.
it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
I don't like sports.
Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Oh my gosh. There are so many balls. Oh, I'm enjoying this. Is the ball with the blue?
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game?
Yes.
Well, I sure hope you're having a good
Rocket
time, because
League
guess
without the
what? It's
cars.
over. That's right.
Oh.
Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have... Hold on. What are you doing?
Yes. What the freak?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that.
Void. What the fudge? I feel like I'm gonna get jump scared or something. No, I don't like the dark closet. I've just gone in a circle. Narrator. Interesting. Oh. Low quality computer room. I don't like how quiet. Oh.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now.
I got it.
I wonder if he's happy with his
Reviving.
choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the
I
end
think you have
to make
attachment
sense
issues,
out
my
of the
dude.
chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's
You should
who
probably
I
go to
am.
therapy for that.
That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way.
Yeah.
Once this ends,
I've
after it
come to
all
the,
comes to a close,
conclusion
then I'll
that
be
this
back.
man needs therapy.
The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
I appreciate that there has been updates since I last saw this game. The freaking Rocket League, that's so funny. That was a great round. Alright,
The
I'll go
meeting
through
room.
the other
Yes,
way
that's where
this time.
everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone
I want my
ever
sprint
again.
back. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
New content. This is the Ultra Deluxe bit. Wow.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley
A new
Parable
voice.
Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a
Elevator.
mesmerizing
Will it go up or
adventure.
down? Where will it go?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we
It's gonna
be
zoom,
moving
isn't it?
somewhere? Or, oh, there we go.
Well, there
All
we
right, finally, at long last, it's on to the
And it
new
goes up.
content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
I hate elevators.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Content. Where's the content? Gimme. Oh, wow.
All right. All right, let's see.
Oh
It's
my gosh, I can
the
jump.
jump circle.
The jump circle. That's sad. Why is this random corner of just boxes? What do the boxes say? Fragile. I can't read the rest. Interesting.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Another elevator.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
It's very
If this is
exciting.
new
I don't know
content,
it. I
then I
don't
could
know
just
what you're
read you the
talking
whole
about.
dictionary.
So
There's 20
incredibly
hours of
exciting.
new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Avoid. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding
Why
me.
is there
You
a
see,
chair in the
Stanley?
corner?
This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality
That's
assurance
so funny.
department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Fudge you. The end is never the end. The end is never the end. Bar, 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 bar. What?
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
No.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
I think I confused him.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
Wow, I
and
think
Stanley knew it perfectly
I
well.
broke him.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
That's really
Standing
funny.
now in this incredible room,
Hold on.
Stanley
Let
for the
me-
first,
let me
but
go
eager
jump
to
off
get
the
back to
thing
business, Stanley
to
took
see
the
if I can get
first
the
open
thing
door
back.
on his left.
Because I actually do want to see what was in the vent.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Car.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley
hit the
leapt
car,
from the
the car
platform
didn't hit me.
and plunged
Wow,
to his
crazy.
death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Lol. Yay, it is still new content.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. Get it right. Vent. Coffee nut? That's weird. Whoa. Into the void.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little
What?
secret. Take a look.
The freak? I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, Chief. What the fudge? Why is there a copy machine here? Oh.
I call it the Memory Zone.
Oh,
it's where
this.
I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Okay, wait, surely I can cheese some, okay. But like, maybe? Whatever. This is really pretty though. The interesting shadow lines or something. Anyway, I'll stop trying to escape. Or will I?
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release?
Mind control.
Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
The Last of
Oh,
Us.
waste.
Audience award just stared in Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable Collector's Edition. Wowee. I like this one. I can see The Last of Us down there. I heard somebody just do the Cynthia Erivo riff from Wicked in my living room. Wow. Oh, 2013. That's funny. Why is there a $1 bill here? Am I missing a reference? Am I... Go outside, don't play for 5 years. Unachievable, was it possible to get this achievement? Wowee. Smile because it happened. What happened? None of these chairs are sittable. Interesting. Empty corner. Dead man. Little Stanley. Oh! Oh!
Je suis dans la même horizon, seul sur l'abri de l'eau,
What the fudge?
et je n'attends plus que toi, mon amour. C'est là,
I had a
dans
hamster.
la même horizon, où je me remémore les jours,
Oh, fudge
Où
you.
je t'ai
You gave me hope and then
rencontrer mon amour. Mais ici, c'est aussi où je me souviens de la sortie.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
Huh?
It
I
was
wasn't
literally
listening.
every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and
I don't
now
know.
it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
But I want to stay in the Zen room. I like staring at the crappy water textures. Like you can see where it's not moving against the rock. and where it's not moving against the candle. A blank piece of paper and knowing your city. I don't know what that says, but somebody can screenshot it if you want, I guess. Oh, my stream on my phone keeps like completely going out of sync. Oh, more stuff on the floor. I can't read that, but if somebody else wants to, go right ahead. More screenshots. The tasteful, nostalgic, it was good. Interesting. That's creepy. Doors. I want to get on top of the boxes. I'm like a cat. I want to. I just want a cat. Give me a cat.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
That's a rusty bike. Maybe even a crusty bike. The serious room. I want to go into the serious room. Let me in. Why can't I get in the serious room? Ugh.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Let me in the serious room.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh. Oh, I
Oh
actually
no.
remember this.
Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Spooky.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
You
Oh,
are very
goodness.
preachy.
This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. but maybe it wasn't. But dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the
buddy.
Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy,
the
then
skip button.
maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's
Yes, I
the
did.
power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about every...
Oh, no. No, 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 no. Please let me skip, let me skip, let me skip. I hate that noise.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be
Oh.
funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack
long
of
is he in
cohesion
now?
in one's
I
assessment of
wanna know.
others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being.
You know
Have
what?
we been given to
I'm gonna go
indulging
grab my
every
lemonade real
fleeting
quick.
whim
I'll
for
be right
no
back.
reason other than to do so?
That is if I don't
Yes!
get distracted by the people
Yes!
in my living
It
room.
seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me.
Like freaking hours of voice acting.
They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down.
I wanted to see if you would notice that I'm back.
When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think. To feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amused them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
Oh, is it
where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even notice it was going in a loop. Back to silence.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Interesting. Where's the sand? Oh. Here we are. Heck yeah. Sunlight. Lego. Oh, oh, this is different. Oh, oh, this is pretty. Oh, wow. Pretty. Oh. Interesting sounds. Oh, I don't like that. No. Oh, there we go. Does the button still work? Oh. And never mind then. Oh, and we're back. Well, that was a fun little escapade.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content? Alright, wait a minute, guys.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
New content. Now, I can't not. Like, come on, guys. Oh, he kept the elevator. I wonder if I can still get the bucket ending. I want the
You
bucket.
see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly
But you know what I
disappointing
really want?
this ultra deluxe. The original Stanley parable was a landmark.
I want a
and
cat.
any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to
now
a
with more
measly
water
re-release
coolers.
with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Wow. Vending machine. Taste the sequel. New and taste. Can't even go on top of the chair.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented.
Is
It
it
screams progress and
Like,
innovation
is it-
and long-term franchising potential.
A whiteboard. More TSP. I don't know what that means. Better TSP? Teaspoon? Win-win. 1, 2, haha. Sequential mind share. The color red. Leverage. Holistic value. I don't know what that means. Envelope. Client-centric marketing. Brick and mortar approach. What does that mean? Synergy? Okay. That ain't how that works. Brain. Another board. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. New hotness? What? Old. Boring section of the chart. Cool red section of the chart. Heck yeah. I would absolutely go into a business meeting with this being my presentation. Whether it be a joke or because I don't have the the brain power to make a proper presentation.
Now, to be clear,
And
I
that's
haven't
first.
quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much
Scrum?
more of a fuzzy magic
What does
than anything
Scrum
scientific
mean?
or logical, really.
Design, pitch, break, pitch, design. Design, pitch, what? Number 2 chat. All of these 2s suck. Eyes, ears, nostrils, arms, legs. I honestly hate this drawing. Who took the red marker? Me. I would do that. I would take the red marker. Oh, I came from this direction. 426. Oh, because this isn't Stanley's like number. There's so many. How many? Y'all's 2s suck. Like the Roman numeral ain't bad, but those other 2s suck. Portal 2 oh my god, Batman. Dark Souls 2. Aladdin 2 Return of Jafar. Is that a movie? Is that a thing? Portal 2 is a great game. Stanley Parable is the prequel to Stanley Parable 2 is the Anyway, but like GLaDOS and narrator absolutely need to have a conversation. That would be comedy gold, is what that would be. I want to see the void. What is in the void? New features. Bus! Content bus. Let me on the content bus. I want to go on the content bus. Let me in. Anyway, we're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Hey chat, how's it going? Like, just so you know, I have YouTube chat open so I can see if anybody types. So if you want to say hi.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Bucket. I haven't gotten to the bucket yet. That's... yeah. Office decorations. Where's the button? For your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
I like this
So
one
with
too.
that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Sleeping and waking as Jim.
Sure, I'll bite.
Falling
My
in
name
love.
is Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you
How'd
don't
you?
properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a
I don't
stupid
care.
button that says
I'm
somebody
Jim
else's
now.
name.
You don't need to. You don't need
Okay,
to talk
we're
about
doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Spam like
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
How hard is it?
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim.
Wait, what? Okay. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Jim. That's gonna be in my head now. Of all things to be stuck in my head. The gym
Maybe
button.
I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Is there a new jump circle? Achievements. Infinite Hall. No screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Now, I like the color blue, but Get Well Someday is pretty funny. If anybody wants to talk in chat, now's a good time. Anyone? Fine, I'm pressing the Y button.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Gee, thanks. I mean, whatever. I like the color blue anyway. Oh.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
The jump circle!
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
Yay.
It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
I'm gonna sit here until you let me jump. Or not. There's too many things. Can you find them? Whoa.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Wow.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Wait, why? What? Why not just use A through Z or 1 through whatever? Why? Like, they're not even relatable. Like, if it was like J for jump circle and like F for free achievement. Bruh. I want a free achievement.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I want the free achievement. Fine. Frick you.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I'm still disappointed. Oh, merch. Is that merch? Wowee. I want some merch. Red is the new orange. You heard Jim. Ooh, my neck. Epilogue. Epilogue. So that's the jump circle, I think it is. Settings World Champion. Oh. Interesting. Infinite hole. I'm gonna jump down the infinite hole. Okay.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact
wow.
a hole that you can fall down forever.
Okay.
That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Oh, took a smoke break down here. What the freak? Do you think this hole would be deep enough that, like, somebody would struggle to breathe down here? Probably. I mean, how fast does air move? That is a good question. How fast does breathable air move? How fast? Okay.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
Yeah, it did.
I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow, okay. Yes.
It's definitely getting...
I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
Yep.
I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Tried, still nothing. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
How's everybody doing? I see 18 people in chat. There's no way every single person in my chat is a freaking bot or something. The freak? I don't appreciate the ominous music. What? What? You know what? Sure. How's everybody doing? This looks pretty cool. I don't know about you, chat, but this hole is really weird. Change your perspective. What? Whoa. Oh. There's another. There's so many sounds going on. I like this. What is happening? Oh! Okay, I appreciate that. Oh, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Hi, I'm playing the Stanley Parable and I'm streaming it. Things have gotten very weird.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley!
Oh.
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I
Wow.
just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have
I'm so
many,
focused
many
on the
years here in this hole.
So
And I'm
very
looking forward to
focused.
all of them.
I've been
Stay alert,
stuck in this hole
Stanley.
for at least 10
I'll be
minutes.
back. Toodlepip.
And it's completely my fault. Don't tell me I'm just gonna. Oh. Oh my. Oh. Okay, I'm just back here, I guess. Okay. This is fine. I'm just back in the lobby.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
I guess that's the end of the whole saga. I guess it's time for the bucket. The moment we've all been waiting for. The bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic
Bucket?
sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of
bucket's
calm
gone.
and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's
Oh,
true.
the bucket just.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable.
Maybe
Can you imagine what a
that's
pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort,
I really
even in
didn't
the
like
face
his
of
laugh.
crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more
don't
awaits
know.
you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I tried to turn chat off and back on again, but oh well. Like I just had 22 people watching and nobody is talking in chat. Why is there a random stool in the corner? Is nobody going to comment on the random low quality stool in the corner? It's slightly floating too. It's like there's just a low quality, slightly floating stool in the corner. I don't freaking know.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
There's another low quality stool in a corner. Have I done everything? I don't know. Apparently there's an exit. These are all really weird.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
I wanted to see if he'd comment if I left. Guess not. Oh, that's interesting.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work.
Nothing about this
There's
video game is
definitely a
coherent.
good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
Count this as meeting.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game.
I wanted
I wanted
to see if I could
fans
try
to
and
love it.
collect
No matter
those.
how good these
Didn't work.
gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh dear. Oh.
This is the story of a man named Stan.
Cool. I turned down the narrator guy's voice a little bit.
This is the
because-
story of a man named Stanley.
Yes. Here, skip. Oh my gosh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how
These
hard
mean
Stanley
they brought
looked,
back
he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
They brought it back.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its
I'm very
insightful and
glad.
witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable
Wow.
to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built
Joke's
up
on
the
you.
other option
I'm half
so much
listening.
that I'm going to stop talking and leave
And I
you to
have
your
a bag
decision
of
whether to
cashews.
come back here,
So I'm
continue
good.
with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever.
No,
Cheers.
they're salted in a way where it's like not that great. So, you know, let me grab the other bag of cashews because I bought 2 bags of cashews. Except this bag is honey glazed cashews. Crazy, right? Did he really just... Did... Oh wow, I've discovered if I hold down right click, it just moves me forward. That's really funny. I'm having a hard time opening this bag. Ow. Ow. Okay, there we go. I ended up having to use my teeth. These are good cashews. Yes, I'm sick of the gag now. Oh. Oh, okay. I got you.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Alright, let's see how long I can take it.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Hey!
Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And
My
if you are not
existence is
strong
only terrible because of
and
you,
keep
narrator.
playing
I hope you know
along,
that.
You too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
At least you know you're unbearable. I'm actually enjoying the music. I'll hit escape in a minute. I hope y'all weren't able to hear my chewing too loudly. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Bucket. Bucket. Bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Bucket.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and
Have these
comfort now
changed at
more
all?
than ever. Perhaps his
No.
boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Nah. Oh,
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no
Wowee.
reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
alright, I'm content. Ooh. Executive bathroom. I'm standing on top of a computer.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Oh gosh.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there
Another
really must be a
collectible.
snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt. The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty,
bucket
he would be all
reassurance.
right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
My emotional support bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Whee! This is
As the
fine.
machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Oh. Go.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but
Also, the
this one
narrator's
stood
female
above
now.
the rest.
Yeah,
It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Interesting. Welcome to the grand exhibit. The standing. I'm not reading all of this. If somebody else wants to read all of this, they absolutely can. But I'm not going to. Random chair in the corner wouldn't be the Stanley Parable without a random chair in the corner.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
That's more than 25 buckets, good sir. I don't know. I don't think Broke can count, because that's more than 25 buckets. 5, 10, 15, 20. This little corner has like 25 buckets in it. This is like, we're going like 25, 50, 25, there's like 100 buckets on a row, and then like, there's gotta be like at least 500 buckets in this picture. I don't know why I did the math for that. Wow. And another random chair. Which side did I come in on? Oh. Inferno bucket? Does it... Inferno... It's a wooden pail. Okay. Another random chair.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Without commentary, crazy. In the Stanley Parable? Another chair in the corner. I didn't think it was possible for the Stanley Parable to not have commentary. Unless it's the skip commentary button. Another random chair. Why are there so many random corner chairs? Another random corner chair. The hanging Oh.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Oh.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Lol. I don't give anybody the satisfaction to have anything. Haha.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nah. Don't. I hate Mondays. That's so real. The only reason I'm still playing this is because tomorrow I don't have to go to
When
class
Stanley
until like
came to
3
a set
o'clock.
of 2 open doors, he
Or like
entered the door on
3:30.
his left.
Leaf. Bruh. What the fudge? Warehouse access plan. Here one plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. What? Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. We need more planks. Okay. Mission status inside of sequel exhibit. Large room, lots of boxes. Question mark. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Somewhere with red and blue. Nearby a fireplace. A private but smelly place for an important person. What? Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. Yes, no. 5 there be, just take from me. Or 5 there be, just take it from me. Gotta collect them all. Law looks like I want them so much. I want to go home. Stop kidding yourselves. There will be cleaning of this war required. Who are you? What the fudge? There will be a reward for finding them all. There's one in a bathroom, apparently. Managed to pick up sounds. Path of Friday shall be strange noise, and like that is coming from a dark area behind a very warm light. It has a big temple. Looks like a ruins in the surface. What? Shut the frick up. Maybe we are the collectibles. Shut the frick up. Source of levitation. Difficult findings. Wow. Okay, I'm not reading the rest of this.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Actually, you know what?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting
The
he
one
had
is
left his
shorter.
post during work hours. He might be fired
Speed
for
run.
that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
I don't
why
have any
couldn't he see
commentary for
his
this one. I've already
feet
made
when
all
he
the
looked
jokes I can.
down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
So instead, I'm going to stand on this box.
He imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Who don't get?
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about
I think
a
I'm
voice
getting too tired for
describing me,
commentary.
thinking about how it's describing my...
I just remembered that there's a reset button. Hey, wait a minute. Why do I go through this chair? Is it so it can look like I'm sitting in the chair? But like I'm going through the chair. What the fudge? Does this clock actually say the time? I think it does. Maybe. Actually, maybe not. Which hand is which, actually? Okay, no. I don't think it moved. Yeah, I don't think this clock is telling the time. I can't read, analog clocks. We're gonna pretend like I didn't say that. Okay, I'm really tired. I'm gonna stop streaming now. Hope you enjoyed, the Stanley Parable. Bye. Good night.